what's happened in the last video.
She stared at my trunks and smirked. Oh my gosh, that is innuendoous.
And here is more, MrDudeManSir.
We finally made it to Heavenly Hills Elementary. In the middle of it was an old building resembling a kindergarten. Kindergarten? Cool. It was shrouded with a thick fog. It looked like we'd come out into the cemetery. The old camp building had an entire crypt. According to Oyana, there were pioneer souls roaming here. Truly, it was a mass grave. I shivered and clenched the flashlight even tighter. A dreadful place, to tell you the truth. Oh, come on. She patted on the back cheerfully, which only made me more scared. I was about to move forward when the moon showed along the clouds, illuminating the glade and the old camp building and us. Under that light, everything seemed so not so old. The crumbling brickwork left these... Whew. Under that light, everything seemed not so old. The crumbling brickwork, rusty slide, and merry-go-round, and a few panes of glass that miraculously remained in some of the windows. They all became more vivid. I started to imagine that unknown monsters came out of the glade from the forest. A place of eternal dark. I cannot read it because someone's steam popped up there. Go away, please. Thank you. Even the moon can't rain. I hope that they fear the light like vampires. Though maybe they could turn into giant wolves at the full moon, like werewolves. Why have you stopped? I'm thinking. About what? We would sure come to such a place. How should I know? We'll ask him when we find him. Yes, obviously. Yeah, obviously. I mumbled and followed Rihanna. She walked more carefully now, looking under her feet, stopping occasionally and even looking back several times. That's natural. In some places the grass reached her chest height and nobody knew what could be on the ground. Scrap metal, stone, shattered glass. We finally reached the door. Oyana stopped and said, "Well, here we are." As if you won a race. This isn't a game. You're what? Boring. I made a displeased face and stepped confidently into the darkness. It was dangerous to let Oyana go first. Dangerous for her, dangerous for me, maybe even for all of humanity. We're back inside this old place. I cannot wait to go into the maze because I'll be stuck there for like 20 minutes. The inside of the old camp building made an even more depressing impression. Great. I even felt sad for a moment. Or probably for the people who lived there back then. It had surely been full of joy and children in the past. Pioneers ran around playing games I'd forgotten. A strict leader like older matriarch that maintained order. One session ended and a new one started. And now, it's just standing here, crumbling, rotting, forgotten. Look! Oyana gave me an old ruined doll, falling apart from the damp. One more piece of the past. So what? Nothing. She moved out of the light, but I noticed sorrow on her face. As sad as a cemetery. Scary. I haven't seen anything scary yet. That was indeed more relaxing in here than outside. It was like a cemetery. You don't know how to spell cemetery, apparently. It's like a cemetery. As you look for a specific grave while walking among countless tombstones, feeling discomfort inside. But then you find it and your soul calms. As you lie next to it. I shuddered and let the flashlight play around the room. There was no sign of Shurik. However, what I did expect to find here, his corpse? Well, this place does reminisce of corpse parties, so it makes sense. Looks like he isn't in here. What about the second floor? Shurik! I called loudly, but only my echo answered me. Shurik! Get down here! See? We should check anyway. Okay. I got it. I've never been upstairs. Okay, never mind. We're not actually going upstairs. There were no signs of life on the second floor either. I sat on the stairs and hung my head, feeling doomed. Where to next? We can't walk around the whole forest. I'm already sleepy. Can we just go to sleep? Why do you whine so much? Oyana was irritated. Whining, just like a little kid. Oh, am I wrong? Right or wrong, what's the difference? If we are looking for Shrek, we must find him. But how? I begged. I don't know. Somehow, though. Oyana looked like a strict teacher and myself like a careless schoolboy. But shouldn't it be the other way around? Maybe. Look! I turned the light in the direction she pointed and noticed a trap door in the corner surrounded by garbage. It looked like it had been opened not too long ago. She must be down there for sure! Oyana rushed to the hatch and made a great effort to open it. Why would he go down here? It was possibly, I don't know, some villagers. Is there a village nearby? I don't know. Oyana replied, breathing heavily. She hadn't managed to open the trapdoor. She's a weakling. I started thinking. There surely was a possibility that Shrek might be down there. I didn't know how much about this world after all. Actually, nothing actually knew. Why should the local residents act according to my logic? Could it be that he tried to escape down there, running away from wolves? Are there any even wolves, though? Maybe owls, though. Those things are very vicious. Okay, let's check it out. If you gotta do it, there may be an owl chasing him in circles down there. I strained my muscles and managed to open the trapdoor. I crashed loudly on the cracked wooden floor, and at the same moment, Oyana leaned over the hatchway, lighting up the basement with a flashlight. It's some sort of... oh, it's time. It is time. A tunnel? I pulled her back by the scruff of the neck to look in there myself. Hey! Curiosity killed the car driving by me, you know. There was indeed a long tunnel running into the darkness. It looked like a dungeon from a computer game. This is a computer game. There wasn't any danger at first sight. No waist-deep water, no rats, no jambies. Okay, let's climb down there to look. But be careful. Roger that. Oyana beamed. It's time to... okay, it's not time for the puzzle, you'd say. It was really dark down here. The flashlight did little to help. It dimly illuminated concrete walls, lamps hanging from the ceiling, entangled in wires, and garbage abundantly covered the floor. We slowly moved forward. I held Oyana's hand, fearing that she would run ahead of me. Probably I was a bit worried about myself as well, not wanting to be alone in this thick darkness. Maybe we should go back. Shrek shouldn't have gone too far. Well, if he had the flashlight, maybe. Well, even with the flashlight, what would he be doing down here? I don't know. Aren't you interested in what lies ahead? Not a bit. I'm more interested in... oh, hey. There's a fallout door. Is there like an intercom and people will let me in? No? I finished a sentence. I didn't do it. I'm sorry. A massive metal door suddenly appeared before us as if from thin air. I instantly noticed the biohazard sign. A bomb shelter? I realized. Probs. Have you heard anything about it? I don't know. Does it matter? Doesn't? Well, if there's radiation, we'd probably die and stuff. Maybe grow a third arm out of my chest. What radiation? Where from? Yeah, you're right. A third arm would be very cool. I took out of the door wheel and tried to move it. It yielded to my surprise and groaned like a dying dinosaur. The best analogy I think I've ever heard. A dying dinosaur. The door opened at last and Oyana ran in there as soon as it did. Cool. Hey! Behind the door was probably the main shelter room. There were several beds next to me, some devices near the farthest wall, lockers. Fluorescent lamps on the ceiling brightly illuminated the entire room. Where does electricity come from? Or the backup generator? Still no. That wouldn't make much sense because this thing's like so old. I turned off the flashlight to save the battery. Good thinking. Oyana started to rummage in the lockers at once, taking out gas masks, packages, and various tools. Don't you have anything better to do? No! I love doing this. It's my pleasure. She looked at me with displeasure, though. I sat on a neatly made bed and looked around one more time. Right across the room from me was a door. The same one as we entered. Could Shrek have gone through there? If he was even here at all. And why? Why? Shrek, why? Why the long face? Because I forgot to get it shaved and it's long now. Just tired. I honestly confessed. There are beds here we can go to sleep. Then rest. Oyana jumped at me and pushed me in the chest. Ow! I reeled back in surprise and hit my head against the wall. Nearly died. What are you doing? I grabbed her arms and pulled her. Oh dear. She lost her balance and fell next to me. Owie. You started this. Oyana stuck out her tongue and sat up. Look, the weird face is back. What's next? There, the other door. Oh, sure. Shrek predicted a nuclear war and decided to hide beforehand, did he? Mabes. This shelter's too close to the surface. It could protect against the radiation, but if the bombs fell too close, death would ensue. You're so serious about these matters? She smirked. I really didn't know to be serious with her and win the joke. It seems like the age difference between us really matters here. How big is it? 10 years more? Probably. If you're 18, she's probably 5, so there's like a 13-year difference. Or more, because you're probably 20. So that's big. I sighed and stood up from... Wait. The head tie scene is going to be very weird. Okay, let's try. But that door was less compliant than the first one. The bolt creaked, but then the wheel did not budge a centimeter. Seems jammed. Let me. Yana rushed at the door with a crowbar she got who knows where and applied herself to it with all of her unimpressive cars driving by her, and it gave her the power to open the door. That gave us a chance. I helped her, and soon the door fell with a bang. The hinges turned out to be completely rusted. Seems on that everything was good back then. Behind the door there was a tunnel almost the same as the one we came in through here, though. Don't do anything done, you baka. I took Oyana by the hand and stepped out of the room. Dots. It was another endless tunnel. The ceiling seemed to become lower, even though I logically realized that it did not change at all. Oyana didn't seem to be bothered at all, though. She was humming as she walked. It annoyed me more and more. Looks like you're having fun down here in this dark area in the tunnels that we're walking in circles in, don't you? Of course. Aren't you? No, I don't see any reason to have fun. This is a terrible place. We should find Shrek quickly and get out of here because I'm not having fun at all. You may not be here at all. Then why the heck... Look! Oyana snatched the flashlight, all rude-like. Oh. Coolsies. Now it is time. There was a huge hole gaping in the ground. He may be down there. She walked to the edge and leaned. Some rails. It looks like this is mine. The depth of the hole was low enough to climb in and out of it, so I knew Oyana would say next. Go. I wanted to object, but she had jumped down, leaving me in complete darkness. Hey. I had to follow her. I don't know where they dug for here, nor why, or what they dug, but the mine was abandoned for a long time. The planks had become damp, the rails were rusted, earth broke through the walls in some places. The whole tunnel leading into the unknown was suspicious. It looked like it was about to collapse and bury us dead. Come on! Oyana desperately pulled on my arm as a car slowly drives by very loudly. Where to? Why? What would Shrek be down here? I don't even know. What if? She made a serious face. What if he gets in city here somewhere, injured and waiting for help, and we just turn him around and go leave him to die? I estimated the height of the ceiling one more time and walked slowly after the restless Oyana. It is time. Soon we reach the fork. Fork, let's go to the right. Nope, wait, don't do that. I grabbed the arm. I'll choose. What's the matter? We got a mark side, dead end, the whole labyrinth thing. Well, she thought. Let's mark. Cool. She picked up a stone, scratched the beam. Do you think that'll help? Yes, I do. You probably have the choice to go. Cool. Let's do it. Oh, man. It is time. It is time. I felt it coming. I felt it. Oh, baby! I finally made it. At last! The ray of flashlight revealed a wooden door! Here we are. Where? Somewhere. I don't even know. But she was alright about something. At least we've gotten out of the labyrinth finally! After all these turns and forks it took for 10 minutes back in your head, why would mine even exist? Oyan opened the door and stared into the darkness. So, you won't go first as usual, hmm? Well, okay. I stepped over the threshold. And now here, there's a little angel guy painted on the back there. A small room was behind the door. Maybe a storage room for the bomb shelter. There were bottles and cigarette stubs, which means that somebody had been here before us. It wasn't an encouraging fact by itself, but now I was certain that there was another exit from mine, since they couldn't have come the same way we did. What's with the parenthesis there? There's no ending parenthesis either. The ray of sunlight moved around the room, examining every corner. Suddenly it lit up a human figure. Oh hey. Hey there, little guy. How are you? Are you good? Okay. It was Shrek hugging up against one of the walls. Hey, there you are. We've been looking for you all night, and it seemed you hadn't even noticed us, just sitting and mumbling something. Shrek! Who's that? What do you mean, who? Your rescue team. Get up! Go! I won't go anywhere near with you, he mumbled. You'll lead me around these tunnels again, and I know I won't go anywhere. Stay right here. You won't even get me. Stop with your nonsense. It looks like he's gone insane. No, you will trick me this time. Stop it already. Stop it. He took a few steps toward Shrek, but he bumped up at once and waved a metal rod. Don't come near me! Leave me alone! Calm down. It's me, Semyon. Don't you recognize me? Semyon? No, you are not Semyon. I noticed that Oyana, who was standing next to me, had disappeared from the car behind me. You're not Semyon, and I'm going to... Ah! He's chasing at me with the bar again. In the trembling light, Shrek's hand appeared for a moment, wielding a metal rod. I covered my head instinctively. Nothing. When I opened my eyes, he had already been disappeared and stuff. Oyana stood next to me and giggled, holding the metal rod. Just like a real scout. Yeah, a scout. From somewhere far off, the devilish laughter of Shrek was heard. He ran away. Screw him. I don't care if he dies here. I spat in the floor and leaned up against the wall. If it had been for Oyana, I wasn't prepared for that. Shrek might not have killed me, but he could have injured me seriously. To be left lying here injured would have been equivalent to death. We don't even know when help will arrive. And will they be able to find me in this labyrinth? Why the heck did I even agree to come here? Indulging that girl? Yeah, look like you're gonna kill somebody. If a good candidate presents itself. Oyana shuddered. No, not you. It might be nice to look kinky, but there's no reason to kill you. She smirked. Yet. Oh, yo. Okay, it is definitely time to get out of here. They can send their special forces, rescue teams, Ghostbusters, whatever tomorrow. I don't even care. Will we go back now? I looked around the room once again and noticed a door to my left. Wow. That's a low price. The door was just like the bomb shelter, a massive metal one. I pulled the wheel a couple of times, but it just creaked dully. If only I had that crowbar still. You have a metal bar that you stole from Shrek. Oyana asked me in a depressed voice. Nope. Actually, I didn't have any strength. My situation earlier, where I had the duck from his swipe, apparently used all my energy, and I am useless now. I would strain myself, ask for Oyana help, look for something to use his lever, but I don't even know how to get out of his mind. I wanted to hope that there was a path of least resistance for us to take. And that meant hoping that I remembered the way through the labyrinth. Let's go back. Okay. She smiled and took my hand. Dots. We walked even slower on the way back through the labyrinth. Stones scattered under our feet. Water dripped from the ceiling into our hands, feeling like drops of molten tin. Oyana quieted down and followed me in silence. Something happened. What do you mean? It's strange for you to be quiet for more than like a minute. No, everything's alright. But something was definitely wrong. One fork after another. A minute ago, I was certain that the next corner I would see the cross. Oyeana had scratched before. But I was wrong. My faith in my ability to guide us is melting away with each second. Well, whatever! I decided to distract myself with conversation. It's alright, it's just... what? It all went so wrong, Shirk, and now we're stuck here. You saved my life. You should be proud of yourself. I tried to encourage her, but Oyeana didn't seem to get it. But if I hadn't taken this metal rod away, you might have just stayed. Whether we stay or not, what's the difference now? We'd still have to get out of here, wouldn't we? Yeah, but everything's alright. This lake will find a way out for sure. I really was sure about that. Finally, we came to a long tunnel, on the wall of which was the cross. Oyeana cheered up a bit and we almost ran the rest of the way to the surface. We're out! See? The full moon shined above us again, and the building of the old camp didn't look nearly as ominous as before. Especially in comparison to the bomb shelter in the catacombs. That was cool, wasn't it? It looks like Oyeana's gotten her usual cheerfulness back. I'm not too sure about cool, but I'm glad we're out. So, shall we go look for... go look for Shirk? We just did! I was speechless for a moment, unable to even finish a sentence. Are you crazy? We found him already! Tomorrow we're gonna meet them, and the police can go down there and catch that caveman to run tests on him. Well... no wells. Back to camp, to sleep. Now. Goodbye. I walked rapidly from a dreadful pace, ignoring that furious Oyeana? Even the game spelled their name wrong on accident. Oyeana. Within 10 minutes, we were already back at the square. Okay, that's all for today. Dismissed, soldier. Oyeana saluted and was about to leave when suddenly she yelled and started to excitedly wave her hands. Look! Look! I looked and saw Shirk lying in a bench. Oh my. It was really hard to wake him up, as if the caveman had decided to sleep for a year beforehand. What? Where am I? He says with probably the weirdest face I've seen in my entire life. He mumbled in his sleep. Do you want to explain yourself now? Explain what? We've been looking for you all night, and you jumped to Senyon with a metal rod, and then you ran away. Oyeana jumped around the bench, ready to explode. She turned into a creeper. What happened? And why am I here? Shirk seemed to come to his senses. Oh, do be so kind as to explain that. How did you get out of the mine? Why did you go there in the first place? Everything, step by step. What mine? There was such a sincere surprise in his eyes that I started to doubt myself. He really might not remember, like, anything. Where have you been for the last, 12 hours? I don't know. Shirk sat and his face frowned with the effort of thinking. I went to the old camp in the morning. People say there was no equipment there, but parts of the robot, and... He stared at us in confusion. And that's all. So you don't remember? No. Okay. I sat next to him and leaned back on the bench. The stars shone brightly in the sky. They remember everything. Even what Shirk was doing in the bomb shelter. Post-traumatic shock. What? Such symptoms are experienced by people after heavy stress, after a disaster, for example. Shirk remarked with a smart look on his face. You should sleep now. Yeah, but we'll speak tomorrow. She looked at him, Shirk did, and looked at him for some time, but then he got up and walked to his cabin without even saying a singular word. So what is it with him? He probably forgot everything that happened in the mine. He's lying. Look, why would he have to lie? So he wouldn't have to answer for what he tried to attack you with a metal rod. She said uncertainly. Doesn't look like it, and does it even matter now? We're all fine and dandy. It does! We must figure out the criminal must be punished! If that rule was applied to you, you would have been placed under arrest a long time ago, or even worse. What does that have to do with this? I don't weep at people with rods. It wasn't intentional. He's lying. He may be lying. I was really exhausted after the day, especially this night, and I don't really care whether Shrek was speaking the truth or just pretending to. It really looks like he doesn't remember anything. I'm gonna go sleep. Then Oyana jumped up and stood on her tiptoes. Good night! I don't know, it seemed like there was something special in the expression of her face that moment. I didn't care.